com and the director of the Austin Comedy Film Festival. We've got an event coming up in just a few days. Next week is Austin Comedy Film Festival Fall 2022, where we're going to be screening all kinds of content that is comedy oriented, that is 30 minutes or less. Everything from romantic comedy to sketch comedy to dark comedy to horror comedy to you name it, and mockumentaries, funny music videos, funny comedy series episodes, all new stuff from filmmakers from all over the film festival circuit that are bringing their creative work to Austin to show you. So I hope you're there. It's going to be a fun time, back-to-back laughs, almost 8 hours of screening time of just pure content. You can come and go as you please, obviously, but it's going to be a fun time. And one of the filmmakers who's a dual role filmmaker, director, and actor, Merissa. Hello, how are you? It's good to see you.
Hello, good to see you. I'm well, thank you.
Your film is nominated for awards, and not many are nominated for two. You've got a Best Acting Performance Award, which is a very difficult award to qualify for. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And then the Best Romantic Comedy Film Award, which is also just a great accomplishment. And the judges are very, very impressed with your work in front of and behind the camera.
Thank you.
So we're looking forward to this. It's pretty. The judges really, I mean, just genuinely, just enjoy what you're doing, and I hope you continue to do what you're doing. Even the Houston judges picked it up and nominated for Best Romantic Comedy Film for Houston Comedy Film Festival Fall 2022, and I think that you're going to have a lot of success on the film festival circuit. It's just a funny concept and great acting and just really good job.
Thank you.
All right, I want to give away the story of Puppet Seizure, which the title can mean so many things, but I'm the type of guy. I'm the type of guy that'll ruin the synopsis. So please, I'm going to let you put it in your own words.
Okay. Let's see if I can. So Puppet Seizure is a story about an aspiring recording artist who arrives home to Brooklyn with plans on taking her hot producer out for a night on the town, but her family's puppet show rehearsal interrupts their date, which tests her ability to prove that she really is this cool, awesome rock star, not a nerdy puppeteer like her past suggests.
All right. I like it. And comedy ensues. So
I like comedy ensues, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to start having every synopsis needs to end with that in the comedy film. Yeah. I'm just joking, but no, very, very good job on this. What inspired you to create? I mean, I guess I got to give you a dual inspiration question, because it's like, what inspired you to create this film, and then what inspired you to take this role yourself? So
as a filmmaker or
as an actor, like you just break it down for me.
Yeah, sure. So what initially inspired me to make this role was I wanted to create a comedic role for myself because I'm a dramatic based actress. And it's funny because like I have had kind of a dual life of my adult normal acting world being super dramatic based, but then I was running a puppet show company in real life with my mother doing musical puppet shows for kids and experiencing a ton of real life wackiness, whether it be with the children, the fellow entertainers, the parents. I mean, the experiences of getting to the gigs in Manhattan, all of it, like the trials and tribulations of running a puppet show company with my mother. So it's like, such a unique concept that in my quest of finding a comedic role for myself, I realized like I have one in real life that I can draw from. And this is like so unique because also like I'm the third generation puppeteer in my family. My grandfather came from Switzerland and he was the original ventriloquist. And so his dummy is featured in Puppet Seizure, who's a very, very old dummy. But yeah, so it basically was inspired by realizing that not only could I create this comedic role, but also that I have this unique story to tell, which is really fun. And also wanting to do some more comedy because I just absolutely love stuff that makes people laugh. I mean, but what I was hoping, I wanted to write Puppet Seizure to be a lot darker than it actually is, but the way that it just ended up writing itself was this very sweet romantic comedy, as you know. And then I realized like, okay, I guess that's the story that needed to be told right now. And so it's also a proof of concept because I wish this to be a bigger world of entertainment, and that's to come. But yes.
All right. I love
So
it.
actually, it is like the best honor completely to be nominated for best acting performance because after wearing so many hats of directing, and I always wanted to direct stuff, and I always wanted to edit and be on the other side of the camera, and I was just so thinking like, oh my gosh, what if I get nominated for, we get nominated for best romantic comedy or like best directing. And so then when I got nominated for best acting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot this is why I made this to begin with, was to be an actor. So like, thank you. I was hoping that my character was the glue to keep all of the story together and not realizing that people would appreciate my character's arc. And so as the writer of Puppet Seizure, that makes me feel, I feel like whether or not I win, I feel so accomplished and appreciated. So yeah, it's again such an honor to be appreciated for two two potential awards.
Yeah, this is huge, and good job. I was going to get into the technical a little bit, like how did you balance? Because acting is just there's such a creative energy to pull on, but then as the writer, you're trying to like you're saying like I want this film to turn out a certain way, and then you're the person that's responsible for that, and striking that balance. I could never do that. I was behind the scenes as a sound guy most of my career, and so I wasn't in front of the camera until now, until the film festival circuit. So
Nice.
it is a tough thing to balance, and talk about that. Did you have a learning
Yeah.
experience or anything on set? I mean, probably many, but is there anything you want to talk about that is
Yeah.
going to help you on future productions?
Absolutely. So I knew that, and I say I wrote and I directed, which I did, and I'm the main name, but I also had my dear friend who plays my sister in it, Brittany, helped me finish writing the script. And then I had a co-writer, I mean, sorry, a co-director. My co-producer, Jen Plotzke, also was my co-director because I realized I knew that there was a risk when when you're wearing so many hats, because I was also producing, that when it came down to being in the scene, I didn't want to look like I had a director's hat on. I wanted to just be fully focused as an actor because I feel like even some of my, heroes, I've noticed like if they're in their own thing and if you don't have a like the idea was like, oh, have an assistant director. I'm like, yeah, but I want somebody who's not afraid of telling me if, and I feel like there's something about like the title of director. I'm like, I don't have a huge ego that I need to be the only director. Like I'm happy to co-direct. And it worked out so wonderfully where my producer was able to co-direct me. So that way when it came time for me to be acting in the scenes, I was able to just be fully immersed as an actor. And we had another producer on set who could be producer. Jen was the director in that time, and I was acting. And because I knew that I needed to have somebody else telling me things that, or just be looking at the camera. So I didn't have to be running back and looking at the, at the frame and being like, this looks good. And so I didn't have to worry about that. And I could trust that I was in good hands. And that to me was everything, was feeling like I had a team, and it's because yes, as much as I'm very proud of all of the roles that I did, I absolutely was never intending on, in fact, I kept taking on more roles just for sake of saving money or like
Mhm.
realizing, that also maybe for this being my first project, I don't know if I want to trust somebody else to be, in charge of, like I did the editing, because again, I was like, I think I need to do that for this job. But as far as being on set, absolutely, I was so proud and so amazed at the crew that we had together, which again, just everything worked. We filmed in 3 days. We should have filmed in 4, but we couldn't afford it, so it was like
Mhm.
no room for error. And the script supervisor, she was like, I've never seen so many scenes filmed in this short amount of time. And I'm like, thank you. I mean, I think that's good, like, because we just everybody did their job, and it was amazing. And it was the first time I've been on set where there was a majority female crew. It was so cool. Like I always wanted to have like a mixed, ethnicity, gender, um, crew, cast and crew, but the way that it fell together was so beautiful and organic. And yeah, and just everybody again, like there was no drama. I mean, I did cry for a moment when I was told we're gonna go
Mhm.
behind, we're not gonna finish this, of course, on the last day. But that was a challenge. Realizing as the producer, I had to put my producer hat back on of like, okay, how much overtime can we do? Can we afford, how many more hours can we afford to make sure that we get all of the scenes in? And I had some moments there. I had to go into the bathroom and have a little cry with myself, realize like it's okay, because then I had to go shoot something.
Mhm.
Again, I had to like pause, as the director producer, have that moment, and then go back into this like scene with my mom. Actually, it's a tender scene with my mom, so it actually worked out nicely because that moment happened right before that. And yeah, so they were, and I was 6 months pregnant, so that was another separate challenge of not only hiding a belly, but being in the second trimester of being a future mom. It's fun now having like pictures of myself with a little belly as I'm like directing the cast, but that was challenging. Making sure that the belly was hidden the whole time, and that that because that's not part of my character, not in this not in this movie. So yes,
Sure.
there were several various challenges, but again, the way that everybody came together and just did their job just made it from the outs from hearing other people's experiences on set. I was like, oh my gosh, like this was such a well run set, considering like what was going on in my head internally. But yes, but like we did, because we did a bunch of pre-production too. We did our homework. We wanted to make sure that we were ready and that we didn't waste any time, because there's no room for error when you have so little time to shoot, because it was a 17-page script. And with the editing, though, I got it down to under 15 minutes because I knew that it would be very fast editing. So yeah, but it was the whole thing, I'd say, was the challenge of like, can we actually get all the shots in? And granted, of course, as the writer, we didn't get a couple shots, but it's fine. It's like, they weren't essential for the film.
That's a lot to balance,
Yeah.
especially being pregnant. I can
Yes.
I can relate to most of what you're talking about. Maybe not that part, but I definitely cry before every film festival. I'll tell you that. But
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
it's just there's chaos because you're worried about a million things,
Yeah.
a million check boxes, and if you think about it, if you've got 100 check boxes and you check 99 of them, someone's always going to walk up and point out that one you didn't do.
Right.
And it's a lot of stress, but I can see how you got through it, and congrats, because the finished product is excellent.
Thank you.
So, well, let's go on. What do you have going in the future? What's next for you?
So what's next actually is the next thing that we're going to be filming is actually the pilot. So what Puppet Seizure is a proof of concept. And we're working on, I originally wrote a pilot, which is it was like 35 pages, but then I realized like, this is too big. I can't film this, I can't afford it. It's also just like, it was too long, and so then and what the pilot is actually goes into the puppet show convention. Basically, it expands the world of what Puppet Seizure is like. So you see all of these other children's entertainers that this family has to deal with and compete against, and just the variety of what's out there as far as entertainment, for kids. And so the pilot's going to be super fun because so my character is going to be basically forced into this world that she once inhabited, and then she's incredibly talented regardless whether or not she wants to be at it. And it's a family business that she's kind of trying to help save at the same time as deal with these ridiculously overcompetitive uncles who are dressed as Father Goose, in this competition. And so that's what we're writing, is basically we're trying to make a combination of what the proof of concept and the pilot episode, because what I love about the pilot is it's a little bit of what we will see. Puppet Seizure, the proof of concept, it's a little bit of everything. Like, it's not just a sitcom. Like, I almost think of it as a dramedy, because there are those tender moments, with the family and with the love interest, with Damien. And so, but when I wrote the pilot, it was very sitcom-y, and I've recently gone back to, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this was like, it was very inspired by Arrested Development. So like quick cuts to, cut tos, like flashbacks and all that sort of stuff, which is not really in the movie. And so I want to kind of do a happy medium of both of these things, because I really love comedy that still makes you care about the characters. Like I love a good It's Always Sunny and all those, dark and that's actually originally what I was imagining Puppet Seizure to be. But I love that it's taken a different route, and it's more along the lines of, characters that I feel like the audience could be invested in and care about from episode to episode, and of course get a good laugh in too, because That's the best part about it is, like everything can be laughed at. In my experience as a human being, I feel like I have to laugh every single day. Otherwise, I mean, I also probably cry a lot too, but you got to have the combination of like laughter and tears because like life is really tough. So yeah, so that's our goal is to film the pilot episode. So that's the next step.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad this could lead to something in the future. That's exciting news.
Yes,
Exciting.
thank you.
So, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you right now?
So right now, social media, I would say Facebook or Instagram. There are Puppet Seizure pages on both of those. There's also my Instagram page. I'm trying to find the happy balance of posting on both of them. I'm still learning that, but yeah,
Sure.
but the handles are Puppet Seizure on Instagram and Facebook, and then
Perfect.
eventually YouTube as well. But yes.
Awesome. Well, good stuff. Well, this has been great. This is good getting to know you before and after, and it's just, we're looking forward to screening these films in both Austin and Houston. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
Just thank you to you for facilitating these festivals and to all the judges who recognize me and my cast and crew and all of the hard work that we've done. So I really appreciate being nominated and being selected. Not just nominated, but first of all being selected. So thank you very
Yeah.
much for having us and inviting us to be part of your festivals.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time today. Appreciate the kind words for us too, and I look forward to seeing you at the event, both
Thank
events
you.
really. So,
Yes, I see both of them. We will be there.
all right, Marissa, take it easy. I'll see you soon.